Hello, Forever Endeavors. So we got another project. Uh, by far, my most popular video is the washer repair video where I pulled the wash plate, and it's infinitely had more views than anything else I put out. So we're testing the waters, see if this channel is what direction it's gonna head in exactly. It's really all up in the air, and there's still a lot of new things coming on the horizon that I'm not going to reveal just yet. But anyway, so I picked up this washer on Marketplace. It was dirt cheap. Said not spinning, so I was like, well, and it was right around the corner from my house, so I was like, I'll run over there and see real quick what's wrong with it, and if it's something that's gonna be equitable for me to turn around. And I don't do that very often. I primarily just repair appliances for customers, but every once in a while. And our washer's getting a little tired, so we might just put this, use this one. But it looks like the coupler is stripped on this. I haven't pulled the wash plate yet. That's why we're going to do the video. But it just makes a grinding noise and whips the wash plate around when it's supposed to be spinning, and that's it, trying to lock the transmission in for spin, but the basket's disconnected through the coupler, I believe, is what's happening. So but we're going to pull this thing, go through this procedure of pulling the wash plate with the airbags. I'm going to do things a little different because my airbags are getting old, but I'll show you all that. So all right, we're gonna move forwards and do some work on Saturday. Let's try to do a little more in-depth. Last video's quick, and I skipped over a couple little details, so if people have questions. This little cap just pops off with a screwdriver. You just get it up under there and pop it off. 7/16 bolt. The weak swing will get him. All right. Give the old tug test first. The whole shaft is moving up and down. Looks like that might be the wash plate coming up and down on, but the whole shaft is moving. I'm hoping that doesn't mean there's more damage here than meets the eye, but I think that's kind of par for the course whenever these couplers wear out, and that thing has to bear the weight of everything. They seem to recover. I've never, the quote-unquote transmission in these things, it's more like a shaft that goes through kind of a coupler mechanism, and the actual shifting part is down below. It's called a splutch, and it's shifted by a little mode shifter actuator. It shifts it from agitation to spin. Most of the actual moving parts of the transmission are that splutch and that little actuator. The rest of it's kind of a shaft through a coupler, and then you got the center shaft that runs the wash plate, the outer shaft that runs the basket, and the splutch is what engages and disengages. I'll try to show you a little more of that later. So we're going to have to put the bags on it. It doesn't mean it's going to be a fight. Start soaking the WD, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we're running out. Soaking the WD on there. So my airbags, a little bulb. These are the weakness in these airbags. First of all, they're just on there. There's nothing holding it, sealing it. So if you really start putting a lot of air pressure, and I think they're designed that way as a safety. If you really start putting the pressure to them, they blow off, and this starts getting soft, and eventually you can't use the bulb anymore. But what I've started doing, and I do not recommend doing this. Don't do this at home. Do not try this at home. But what I've been doing is take the camera, show you what we got here. So bought this little air tank, yard sale. Got it cheap. It was brand spanking new, never had been used. I put the little 6-foot hose on it. Anyway, what I've been doing is just put this right there and blow into it. Now I meter it very carefully because they come up quick. When you do it like that, it's right away. And you can easily put far more pressure inside of these than they're meant to hold. I think these are pretty tough, but you could potentially blow one of these up probably. But yeah, so I've only had one wash plate I couldn't remove with the airbag system, and I was there for hours, and it may have eventually came off, but I had been working on it a long time. I started having concerns that I was going to mess up the drive assembly underneath where the splutch and everything is. So, because I was pounding on it for quite a while, so I just kept tapping the air, and then I noticed some cracks forming in the wash plate. And I'm like, well, it's cracked now. And I just went ahead and shot some more air in the bags, and it just split it popped it right off for me, split it is what I'm trying to say. It split the wash plate in half, popped it off of the splined insert that was stuck, that's in the center. There's a steel insert in here that's splined and slides over the shaft. That's what gets stuck. So it split the wash plate and popped it off. But in a way, it was cool. I mean, it was, the customer didn't care. They were willing to buy a wash plate, and we had gotten past the season where you couldn't hardly get parts. So parts were available. So I popped it off, and then I used a puller to get the insert off of the transmission shaft. So if you got one that just beat you down and you're going to split it anyway, this works. Again, don't try it at home though, if that makes any sense. Right? Alright, we're going to get this thing off of here. Gotta cover your pertinence, you know what I'm saying? Now what you can do, don't try this at home, with the airbag the air tank is, this one has a regulator. So if you have one with said regulator on it, you can turn the air pressure way down to like 10 pounds maybe. Start there. Add a little safety factor into the whole process. Don't try this at home. Somebody asked me on the last video, how did I get the bags under? So we're gonna walk that little process through. Hopefully we can see it from up here, because I don't have enough hands. Got to zoom in on it, Alright. Again, airbags go under the ribs. The ribs make that part of the wash plate far stronger. If you put it here, it'll just flex way up, and it won't put enough pressure on the splined steel insert there. So I use this little tire tool. It's an old snap-on one that I found in our garage. It's an old, I guess it's like a bicycle or a motorcycle tire tool, I'm assuming. But it's perfect to get up under the wash plate, pry it up. So Something just moved. Alright, pop right up, man. I don't need these airbags hardly. We're gonna go through the process anyway. These things are either cooperate or fused on there for life. Get about halfway under. If it won't do it, it doesn't have to be halfway. Alright, that's good enough. This is actually the better one out of all the bags. It's a little thinner, got a little longer hose. I can't remember, I think I found it at Home Depot. I don't remember. Now, I'm not a paid advertiser for these bags. I just like them and they've saved me a lot of headaches. But if Windbag wants to sponsor me, you know what I'm saying? That's the other company. I have to look at it afterwards. Alright, see here. I don't have the tank filled all the way. I've got about 45 pounds in it. I don't think you probably want to start this process with 100 pounds in the tank. It's got 45. Probably would be smart if you're going to do this. Don't try this at home. To put about 10 psi on the regulator on the hose side. As you can see, it goes right up right now. Saves a lot of work actually. You got to drag this big tank in the house is the only thing for service work. But once you got everything in there, looks good. You have to sort of look at the height of the rim versus the basket. As you can see, when we started, it was flush. I think there was some confusion last time. They were saying it was already up high, so you can stick that, but no, it was down below actually when we started. But you can look at the edge. Here's what I was trying to say, and make it even. So if it's up on one side higher than the other, that's gonna add work to you getting it off of there. That's a little too much. Okay, well, she's stuck. Obviously, didn't pop up yet, so got about, these bags claim to produce 300 pounds of lift per bag. So you're close to 700 or 800 pounds of pressure on there. 900 when they're maxed out. Now, pushing them with the air tank, that's, they're going to probably get a little more than that. Again, don't try this at home. She's stuck. She's stuck on there, buddy. I'm gonna take a little air out of this one. I think it's a little higher than the rest. Even lifting. No budgie, no budgie. Do that for a little while. Soak it with some WD-40 again. Alright, she popped. I didn't expect it to pop that quick. I was going to kind of make a comical thing of, anyway. Alright, so it popped. I don't know, 10 minutes, 15. How long's the video been playing? 22, yeah, it's been probably 15 minutes of pounding. I'm a little nervous though because the bolt is still screwed in. Oh man. Wow. That's our first. I guess there was a problem down in the gear case. You want to see something fail, put the camera on it. So the shaft was right. This is our first, man. Holy Toledo. Still fused in here, obviously. Let me grab a rag, clean the shaft off, and see what we got there. That's why you don't try this at home. You know what I'm saying? I've literally done this to probably 20 machines. It was making a funny noise, and I could have been wrong. This coupler may not even be stripped. It might have just been broken down inside. We're going to go with that. See if we can get this. Slide this down into a pipe that butts up against here, and then drive it out just like I would normally with the bolt on top. I guess that's going to be the smartest way to handle that. So let's do that. Find out if we destroy this machine or not. Made it more broke than it already was, maybe. Let's see if this works. Yeah. We'll find out, man. I'll get it off there, see if it'll pop back in place. Alright, moving forwards. So at the back of my service van, welded this block to a reach hitch. I use it like an anvil. I use it for a lot of things. I sit on it to work on riding tractors back when I was doing that. Step to get in the back of the van. It works good. So, anywho, all right. So, shaft stuck in the wash plate. What I'm gonna do is I got this handle for my jack, for the back of the for my mower jack. Fits perfect over this shaft. And then it's going to go up against here, so all we got to do now is drive the shaft down through the handle. So I got the bolt in, so I'm going to see how this goes. Nothing should move, so it should go on out. That's it. Alright, cool. Yeah, that worked. Alright. Ta-da. So, anyway, there's the old rusty splines going like that. As you can see, they fuse. So I'm gonna clean the splines up real good, oil them with some WD-40 and kind of just clean them up. Alright, so we got a seal here. Make sure you're putting the right side down and the right side up. This side's got the hole for the bolt. So it's not just popping right down into the spline. Right now I'm feeling it line up. in there. I don't know if I don't know, man. Put the bolt in and see if the hammer wants to pull the shaft back out, or if it's retained, or we're learning. Me and you together. Well, it seems to be staying in there. I don't know if that's just because I crammed it in wrong or what. It should turn. It's down to where the seal had the wear on the shaft. Pretty sure we're in all the way. I want to wrap it a few more times. Good measure. Could be that this whole gear case was already torn up. Alright. It feels like it's in its retention place. It's not popping back out. It may be okay. Some of y'all like, this dude ain't never working on my stuff. So this thing should turn back and forth. Yeah. No, it doesn't feel all that great. Oh, it's turning. Yeah, okay. I think we might be okay there. I want you to find out. Let me change the coupler. Put it back together and see what happens. This little pry bar for the wash plate works real good to pull this C-clip out. The plastic coupler also. Can we see? Can we see what's going on down here? All right. That works. Oh, baby. Not a spade. I'm not paid sponsor for Easy Out, but yeah, that works. I think I might have one of these in my little. Man, it's in there too. That thing is in there, and they bite good. There we go. So, all right, cool. Starting to think this is not stripped out. It's not stripped out. The problem was in the quote-unquote gear case, which means all this was a waste of time. No, it's all right. It is stripped out. Yeah, okay. This is all stripped out in here. All right, feeling better about this. So this was the problem, it appears. All right, feeling better. I want to look at the splines too. These look pretty good. Splines can wear down on the metal, believe it or not. if there's enough rust down in there. I'll show y'all some of this, right? I know you like to tell us about everything, show us something. So, don't see any wear on the splines, just the usual rust and all that stuff. So I think she's gonna live. I'm getting excited. All right, I'm gonna start putting her back together. Boy, it doesn't want to focus. There we go. There's your new one. Nice crisp splines. Sort of line it up with the holes, the screw holes that are there. The basket moves independent of the shaft until the coupler is in place, so you can kind of shift it around a little bit. What I do is go around, kind of like lug nuts on a wheel. It's plastic, so you don't want to. The coupler is plastic, so you don't want to tighten it all the way down. You just go around till the basket. You'll see the basket draw up to the coupler just a little, maybe 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, probably an 1/8. Just keep snugging, and they'll, that way you don't warp it. It's not so much a warp as cracking. You don't want to bend it and crack it. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to get out. So, let's see if I can scratch up another screw. So the screws go in, and there's this clip. You see the slots right here. Clip those in. As long as the coupler is all the way down on the splines, it'll line up with the shaft. There's a groove on the metal shaft that just helps retain everything exactly where it needs to be. Tap her in there. Sort of pops over the edge right here, like this. Looks like this one, you know, and there's a little extra plastic that catches so it doesn't come out. Loose particles. Don't mess up your Sunday clothes. This is the original bolt. I did not use the original bolt pounding on it. I have a couple of bolts that I bought from the hardware store specifically for this process. I have a feeling this machine is going to work. Despite that shaft coming out. That's what I'm saying. Got it spun around. Got it plugged in. We're going to put it into a diagnostic. Turn it backwards. Kind of like a combination lock. Kind of zero it out. Then you go start it normal. Right, 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 left, right. We call it the soldier washer. You see all these lights come on. You go right, right. Puts it on spin. That puts it into a diagnostic mode where it will short cycle all the cycles. It's trying to run the water valve right now, which we don't need because there's no water hooked to it, but we want to see it wash and spin. All right. Now we'll do that before. What we're looking for is when it goes into spin for it to lock in and spin the basket, because before it would just dance the agitator around. So now it would just run the drain pump. If there was water in it, it'd be pumping it out. Oh yeah, that's what we want to see right there. So I think this thing is in good shape. Shaft coming out obviously had no repercussions. So you can see where the pulley was rubbing on that case. It looks like it's lifted up. I'm gonna pull the little access cover and pull on it, see if I can move it back and forth. If it's tight now, then that drive coupler is the reason for those pulleys riding low. Still got a lot of movement to it. Looks like the pulley is always ridden there. I don't know. Time will tell. I'm just going to use this one at the house, and it doesn't look like there's any signs of it ever riding any lower, the belt riding any lower on the pulley than it has. It would have been a wide mark from the belt. Instead, it's the exact right width of the belt. So it may just be that they've changed the design of these, and really that doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Now, yeah, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. And in fact, if those shafts will pop out and let us drive the shafts out of the wash plates, that would be a beautiful thing. But it doesn't seem to have hurt anything. I didn't put water in it yet. And I'll follow up if there's any issues there. But I don't see how it would have compromised any of the seals, because they just go around the shaft. So I think we're all good. I'm just going to put it back together, and we're going to run this thing, hook it up, and put it in service here at the house I was talking about earlier. And this little lever shifts this. This is what's called the spletch, and all it does is it raises and lowers it in and out of these cogs right here. So right now it's in a, let's see, it's in spin, and when this pops up out of the cogs, it just spins the center shaft, which is the wash plate agitator. So went and hooked it up and decided to go ahead and do it for the end of the video. Washing good, no leaks. So I think we're in good shape. We'll watch it and use it. I'm gonna keep my old washer around for a few days and just make sure there's no issues, but I think it's gonna be solid. I'm a no harm, no foul kind of guy. So even though that shaft came out of transmission, it didn't hurt nothing. We're good, unless I start seeing a big leak or something like that. But yeah, mechanically she's solid. Thank you for hanging in there. Definitely gonna do some cool stuff on the channel. Got a new welder, and I'll reveal that next video. And I'm a welder fabricator. I'm gonna start building some stuff. So we'll talk about that next video, but thank you for hanging in there. Y'all take care. Have a good weekend.